LTI. Okay. Now we proceed on that. How to find the response of a LTI system. So to find out the response of a LTI system, we'll take a one of a system first. I'll I'll open a multiple window. You can see that the window which I open. Just a minute. I'll yeah, here you can see that is a linear convolution of a two signals. But before that, I would like to show some theory part, so it will be clear to you. Then we proceed on the simulation part. Just a minute, it's take time to load.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. I am late due to login problem.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, I think now it's visible. Yes. So
Yes.
we are discussing, LTI system, and in a LTI system, particularly we are interested in finding the response of a LTI system. So in this VLab, if I'll just click on the theory part first, let me explain the theory. So here, one of a systems, we are taking one system whose input is x of n. Here it will be defined as x of k. You can take any variable, x of n, x of k, whatever. So my input is x of k. We are defining a system with a box, a square box is that. So inside of a box, that will be h of k. So the meaning of h of k, that is h of k is defining the impulse response of the system. Okay. Have you aware about this, or should I specify more h of k? Okay, fine. So h of k, suppose you are not aware about h of k. So suppose any unknown blank system is given. Is that how the system is respond for impulse input? That is the meaning of a impulse response. Is it clear? So here we have a one system with input x of k, impulse response of the system, which is also given inside of a box, that is a h of k, and the output of a system, that will be a y. So here we are interested in finding the out such kind of a LTI system. Okay, so here, as you can see, the output is defined as a convolution of input with the impulse response. Okay, here it is written that mathematically you can define the system output like a y of n is equals x of k convolution with h of n. So now this experiment is regarding how to find this y of n. So ultimately, to find out the y of n, I need to find out a convolution with my input and impulse response. Is it right? Are you able to understood? Please, students, are you there or not? Number 35.
Yes, sir.
Just give me a reply so I understand that.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
This is not only for 35, for everyone. Okay. Just give me a reply. Okay, so we are interested in finding out the output y of n, and that output y of n we can find by taking the convolution of my input x of k hk. Okay, so now here I will explain that the whole procedures, how the convolution is take place. First, I explain uh, in terms of a word graphically, then the same thing we perform on a MATLAB, okay, on simulator as well as on the MATLAB. So first, convolution procedure. Is it clear? Convolution theory में हो गया है आप लोगों का?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. So okay, so you can understand that the convolution. So for the convolution again, I'll just go through fast. The steps are written that to perform the convolution, I can plot both the signals, that means my input and impulse response x of k and h of k. Now, what I am doing according to my formula. Now, what is the formula for convolution? Anybody tell me? Anybody know that mathematical expression? How we define the convolution in a mathematical term? Of n is equals minus infinite to infinite h of k x of n minus k. Okay. So according to this formula, four operation is that. Which four operation? First is summation. We are taking a summation. In general, we are taking a summation from minus infinite to infinite. This is the first operation. A second operation. My second operation is that I can reverse any one of a signal, either input or either impulse response. Okay, how I'll know that it will be a reverse? Because in a mathematical expression, it is a x of n minus k or h of n minus. So that minus meaning n minus k, that minus meaning that indicate that I need to reverse signal or sequence. Okay, is it clear? Means x of n, x of minus n. Okay, so that will be a reversal. So you can see here that will be a second steps is that is the flipping or reversal of a x of k signal about k is 0 value. So we'll get that x of minus k means a reversal of x of k. You can also say it will be a flipping and the flipping about the origin at k is equals 0. So this is my second operation. First is summation, second will be a flipping, a reversal. Now, in the third operation, according to the formula, my third operation that will be a multiplication. Multiplication with other signals. If I flip my x of k input, if I flip that, then multiplication with a impulse response means h of k multiplication with h of okay. So that will be a third operation is that the multiplication with other signals. Okay. Okay. Then the last operation that will be a you how to shift because we need that x of just get x of minus k, but we need the x of n minus k. Okay. So how will get that x of n minus k? For x of n minus k, I need to shift the sequence. So that will be my fourth operations. Okay, so that four operation, then finally we are taking a summation of the product of x of n minus k into h of k. Is it clear this procedure? It is also written on your screen, but summation I'll take a last one. That is my last operation summation. First I'll perform the flipping time reversal, then a product with other signals. Then I perform the shifting and then I perform the additions. So ultimately, we this thing means these are the property of a signals we already done in the second experiment. We perform the various operation on the signal. So now you know that how to shift the signals. That is the shifting property of a signals. You know that how to multiply the two signals. That will be multiplication by sample multiplications. So everything you know, multiplication is you know, shifting, times shifting, you know, summation that you can do. So based on this four operation, okay. Now the procedure, you can see here we can perform this experiment in a three part. The first part is that this is on simulator because we are using a VLab. I'll also show you that on a MATLAB also, same thing. So first, that is on the simulator. In the simulator, if you click on the simulator, you can find that this kind of an interface on the simulator screen. Means you have one of our input signals. There are the variety of input signals are available. You can select any one of them. Okay, there are the four options are available. The first one that will be a simple step signals. Okay, the remaining one are that is remaining two are exponential signals. One is a rising, one is a decaying, and the last one that is the sinusoidal signals. So there are the four options are that you can select any one of them as a input of the signals. Okay, now uh, the next thing, the next after selection of your input signals, if you remember that when I start the practical, I'll show one block diagram. That block diagram we try to implement. In that block diagram, we have one system is that with the system, one input is that and one impulse response is that. So the input is already we selected out of four option, one of a input. Okay. Now the second thing that is the impulse response. So again, I need to select one of our impulse response. So again, same four options are available. You can see here as a h of I can drag and place h of n block. So these are the this blocks, simple blocks are there. You can just drag again, place these blocks and make it a connection. So the connections are shown in a figure number 3. These are the connections. Okay, you have to connect the input with a system h of n, which is the impulse response. So that will be a first connection with input. Remaining connections with your virtual scope. So here for observing the output, I can select one of a virtual scope. So on the virtual scope, you can connect input. One is the input x of n. The second you can connect as a h of n, that is the impulse response, and the third one that will be you can connect at a output. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So now you can see here if I'll select my x1 and x. Okay. You can see here x1n and x2n. I had taken a two-step signals. Two-step signals. Okay. Now, so what we have to apply that four operations. Which four operation? reversal, shifting, multiplication, and finally summation. So here you can see that the output of the system means you can see here this is my response of LTI system, or you can say a convolution of this x1n and x2n. So this is the convolution you are finding. You can do the same thing, different waveform. Now I proceed on the second part. Okay, the first part, that will be in the first part. We are finding the response of the system, means output of a LTI system. Okay. Now in the second part, the second part is that about one of a property of a LTI system, and that property is that the series connection of the system, series connection of a LTI system. If we connect a two system in series means a cascading. If we perform a two LTI system in a series cascading, then what is my output? Okay, so to perform that second part, you can take the figure as draw in a figure 1. My input is x1n is the input is given to one of a system whose impulse response is h1n. Here we are going for a series connection of a two system. If we go for a series connection means we have a two system, and if we have a two system, then definitely we have a two different impulse response of the system. So here I'll define that one system and second we have to connect it in series. Here how we connect in the series, output of a one system we connect as an input of the second system. So this way we can say that this is my series connection of a. So ultimately I'm applying an input to one of a input of one of a system h1n, and the output of that h1n is given to the input of h2n, and finally the output of h2n, that will be my overall output, which is I can say that it is a series connected output of both the system. So here I can say here, if this kind of a series connection of a two system, it is equivalent to a convolution of a two system. Convolution we already just in a first part, but at the time we are taking a convolution with my input with the impulse response. Here I'm taking the convolution of a two impulse responses, h1n and h2n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 43. What is the difference between the previous one and here? In a previous one, yes. In a previous one, we are taking convolution with input and impulse response. Here I'll take the convolution with a two impulse responses, means h1n and h2n. So now you can see here, now my block diagram is reduced as same as the previous one. In a previous one, we have only one system with input. Okay, so I can reduce a two system as a single system whose overall impulse response, whose overall impulse response is a convolution of two individual impulse responses. Now, now I can apply the same rule as we are applying in a part 1. So what is my output? Anybody tell me what is my output for this case? Yes. How I'll define the output? Number 40. Number 40. Unmute your mic. Number 42. Number 40, 42. 46.
Hello.
What is the output? This is everyone in. I would like to inform that you have to just turn on your mic and simply say reply. If you don't know, you reply that don't know. But I need your reply. I'm not 42.
Yes, sir. I don't.
What I am asking, what is the output? $36.
Don't know, sir.
Okay. 34.
Yes, sir.
What is the output? 33.
So don't know.
43.
Don't know, sir.
Okay. That means that you are not understanding the first part proper. Okay, let me again explain what I say. To find out the response of the system. The system is defined with a h of. So to find out the output of the system, what I say that it is, I'll say that it is a convolution with input and impulse response of the system. Okay, so that will be a x of n convolution with h of n. That is my output y of n. So I'm defining my y of n is simply x of n convolution with h of n. Is it right? This should be understood first part.
Yes, sir.
So if I apply the same thing in the second part, if I apply the same thing in the second part, I can say that my output y of n is just like a convolution of input with impulse response. What is my input? Input is x to n. Okay. And the system impulse response is already a convolution of h1n and h2n. So ultimately my output is x2n convolution with h1n convolution with h2n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the conclusion is that the convolution, when we find the convolution, you can also say that the convolution is a very important property, because using a convolution you can find part 2. We have a two system, and if for a series connection, for a cascade connection, so the cascade connection is simply the convolution of a two individual impulse responses. Okay, so it will be H1n convolution with H2n, and then I'll again take a convolution with X2n. Okay, now how you can perform this experiment? You can perform this experiment like this way. You have to choose your X1 and X2, and out of 4 option here, one extra system means you have a two system, H1 and H2n. Two systems are given to you, so you have to connect as per the connection diagram. This thing you can do everything, because this will be a VLAB, so this is also available to you also, so you can also do practice at your end also. So finally you can connect like this way. So final connection you can do this way. The upper part, in the upper part I will take that to individual system, and in the lower part I'll take that a single system whose overall impulse response is the convolution of two individual impulse responses. So finally what we conclude? What we conclude that if I'll see on the oscilloscope, my both the output are same. If my both output are, then I'll say that series connection, cascade connection of a two system is equivalent to convolution of a two individual impulse responses. Is it right? So here you can see that both the response are the same response you are getting. Okay, now if we proceed on the third part. So third part is a parallel connection. In the second part, okay, in the first part, just we consider a single system, and the single we proceed for to find out the output of a single system by taking a convolution. In the second part, we are taking a two system, which is a cascade series connection. Now, this is the third part. So in the third part, we are taking again two system, but these two systems are parallel. So what is the difference between series and parallel? In case of a series, we are connecting in such a way that our output of one of a system is given to the input of a second system. That is a series cascade connection. While in case of a parallel connection, we are giving same input to both the systems simultaneously. So here you can see here, I'm giving X1 and the same input to individual system H1 and H2. Okay, and I'm taking the summation. Now whatever the output of an individual system, which take addition, summation, and given to a virtual scope for observing the output. Now, what is the equivalent? As we seen in case of a series connection, that is a convolution of a two individual responses. But here, in case of a parallel operations, it is simple addition of a two individual impulse responses. Means you can take that H1n addition with H2n with H2n. So simple H1n plus H2n, which is equivalent to two parallel connected system. Okay. Now this thing, verify that. How we can verify? Same thing. We have a two input is that You can select out of 4 signals. Again, you have two systems, H1 and H2n. So you have to connect as per the connection diagram, but this time you have to connect parallelly. Okay. So this is the parallel connections. At the bottom, connect a single system, which is an equivalent single system, which is simply addition of a two individual impulse responses. Okay. So you can verify here. If I'll take it a sine wave, and if I'll take it the addition of a two sine wave, I can get that the resultant wave is also sine wave, and both the output are very similar. So we can verify that, or we can put a comment or a conclusion. If we connect a two system parallelly, then it is equivalent to a single system whose impulse response is the addition of a two individual impulse responses. Is it clear? Are you able to find the difference in the series connection and parallel connection of a system? Yes.
Yes, sir.
In case of a series connection, you have to take a convolution of a individual impulse responses. While in case of a parallel connection, you have to take a addition of a two individual impulse responses. That is the difference, and that is the conclusion of whole experiment. There are the two conclusion. The first conclusion from the part one, that will be a definition of a convolution or the output of LTI system. So the output of LTI system is simply convolution of input and impulse responses. That is the first conclusion from part one. From part two, second conclusion, that is if we connect two systems, then the equivalent overall system whose impulse response is simply convolution of two individual response. And the conclusion from part 3, if we do a parallel connection of a two system, then we represent overall system with impulse response is the addition of two individual system. I hope that this should be clear to you. You can also do this. Same thing is available onto you. So you can do this thing by clicking this on the simulator. That thing you can do at your, I'll give you a time later on. First, I'll proceed on the MATLAB part to show that the same thing on a MATLAB. Is it my MATLAB screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in a MATLAB, again, there are the two options in the MATLAB. You can do this thing. First, go on to the help. In the help, you can simply write it that convolution. So that will be a command is that conv command is that. I hope that it is visible to you. I'll just type conv in help box, and you can find here that there is a whole help with a syntax is visible on your screen. Okay, so the convolution, that will be operation. You can see the syntax of this convolution. So the syntax of this convolution, you can simply use a conv in a round bracket, that is a u comma v. Okay, means w is equals conv u comma v. So simply here the meaning is that if you want to convolve a vector u and v or two signals u and v, then you can write this way in a round bracket u comma v. But before taking a convolution, you need to define the signal sequence or vector u and v. Okay. So let me go on to the MATLAB prompt, command prompt, and I need to first clear the screen. I define that my u, suppose I'll define that u is, you can take any sequence. I'll take a random one sequence. Okay, better is that take it in 1, 2, 3, 4. As this is a u, that will be a input signal. Okay, you can consider that u, that is your input signal. It's a vector which having 4 element 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to define sorry you need to a second signals, that is v. So here v is you can consider as an impulse response. As we discuss in case of a finding the system response, we have to take a convolution of a two signals between input and impulse response. So here you can consider that u as your input signals and the v is your impulse response. But I am taking in terms of a vector. Again, I'll take the vector size, that is the first size is that you can also see that in a workspace the size of u and v. So the size is that 1 cross 4 and v is 1 cross 3 size. Now suppose I need to find that w, co and v convolution u comma v. Okay, you can also see here as your cursor is that on your cursor automatically one box is pop up which will show the syntax. Okay, so this is your out of the system. W is your output of a system which will find by convolving u and v. Okay, now this thing you can also do by using there are the 2-3 methods are there. One is the tabulation method. Have you learned the tabulation method in the theory class or convolution?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
40. Okay, so learn the convolution method, then you can simply verify that by writing 1, 2, 3, 4 in a one column, and same way 5, 6, 7 in a row. So that will be a 4 column and 3 row. Then you have to multiply each row and column, and then you have to take addition, but the addition is diagonal way. Okay, you have to take addition, but that addition is a diagonal way. So that way you can also verify that your output is w is this 5, 16, 34, 52, 45 and 28. The second thing, this thing also, so you must know the size of output. Do you know that what kind of a size, of vector we can get in the output when we take a convolution of a two fixed size vector? You can put any comment on the output. Yes. Here you can see that the size of u is a 4, the size of v is, and the size of w we are getting, that size is 6. So is there any relationship or is there any criteria? Number 33. Yes, 43.
Don't know, sir.
Okay. So for general, the size of output is always that is the formula is the length of input plus length of impulse means length of u plus length of v minus 1. This thing you may noted that in general the length of u means 4 plus length of v means 3. So 4 plus 3 7 minus that is the length of w. Is it clear? So
Yes, sir.
always you can also take another one. You can take another one to verify that. Suppose I'll take it that u is equals 1 to 3 and the v I'll take it that is 5 7. Okay. Now what is the w? W का size क्या होगा?
5.
Yeah, fine. 5. 3 plus 3 minus 1. So you can see here the size is 5. Okay. Now this thing we done thing that is using a inbuilt command convolution. But suppose the same thing you want to write the M file program for that, then you should implement that function. So first I'll give it 5 minutes to think that how we can implement that formula. Which formula? Summation of n is equals minus infinite to infinite x of n h of n minus k. Just think that, then we'll discuss. Okay, 5 minutes you think about it. Yes, students. I think now let me complete the task. First, I need you. Anybody know that or like to put any point how to develop the algorithm? Yes, 34. 34, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. But what yes, sir, 34?
So you
My
asked, are you
question,
there?
yeah, but before that I also asked something. How you
Sir,
think how to develop the algorithm for that? For that, I'll give it the time to think for 5 minutes.
yes, sir, I'm still on it.
Okay. Anybody get it that solutions 43? What is your? I'm not expecting a whole algorithm, but just give me some idea or your thinking view so you can develop the algorithm from your side also. I'm going to show you that algorithm. Okay. Uh, is it the screen is visible? My algorithm, my MATLAB screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the algorithm which I developed. Just I explain the logic behind this algorithm. You can also use this algorithm. This is the expansion of an inbuilt command which will use just on a MATLAB command prompt conv. Okay, so this is the conv command, and I'm showing the algorithm for uh, the command convolution. Okay, so first three command, that is a close all, clear all, cl. That is by default there is three lines you have to always use. Close all means that is for closing all the application or all the figure window which is open. Clear all, which clear all the variable. CLC, clear the screen. Now the next two command means the next two line, that is the x and y. I'm entering two sequences. Here put it my program user defined. User defined means we can enter the signal or sequence as per our. So this is a user defined program, and you can use a user defined program by using an input command. So if you go on to the help, search that for an input, so you find that syntax for input. You have to use the word input in a round bracket, in a single inverted comma, whatever the text you write it, that same text will be appear on a command prompt. Okay, means here the text is that enter the first sequence and enter the second sequence. So when I run this at the command prompt, it shows that enter the first sequence. So you can enter that as per your need. You can enter your first sequence, then second sequence. Okay, first sequence and second sequence is enter. Then the next two line, that is actually it is a commented, means either you have to use this user define input command, or either you can directly input a sequence like x is equals 1 2 3 4 5, y is equals 3 4 6. So your option is that suppose I'm directly enter the sequence, then we have to no need to define the user defined command. So right now we are defining user defined program. So I'll put it that the comment for the comment you can use a percentage signs for the comment. Okay. Now the first step. Now the first step is that is you have to determine that what is the length of your output, final output. जो final output आएगा, final output में length क्या होगा? So I already said with you that is the length of final output is the length of x plus length of y minus 1. Okay. So here the same command that I'll using, and I'm defining a new variable n. So you can say that the n is the length of my final output sequence. Okay. Here we are not knowing the length because I'm using a user defined program. So that's why I use a length command. Otherwise you can directly put that the length. But I'm not knowing that what is the length of x, what is the length of right now. So that's why I use that length of x. Length of x means what is the size of x sequence. Okay. And length of y. Addition minus 1. Okay. So that is my final output sequence length n. Okay. Now we need to perform convolution by using that which I'll already explained. Time reversal, time shifting, multiplication and addition. So to perform that 4 operation, I'll use this rest of command. I explain one by one. First, the length of y that I called a y1 means length of second sequence. Same way, length of x input x length, that is x1. So I use a x1 and y1. X and y is itself a sequence. X1, y1 is a length of sequence. That is the difference between x and x1 and y and y1. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm not knowing the output. I'm not knowing exact output, but I know the size of my output as we determine. Okay, size of my output, that is the n. So what I'm doing here, I'm creating zeros vector means all element are zero. Okay, I do here because I'm not knowing the exact what is the sequence output sequence, but I know that what is the length of my output sequence. So I use a zeros vector with the size is that is a 1 comma n plus x1. 1 comma n plus x1. The meaning of that one, that means that is a row vector. Okay, it having a single row. Okay, that is a row vector, that is a 1. And a second n plus x1. N plus x1 means n is the total length plus x1, that is the length of your input sequence. So I'll take it that n plus x1, that is the length of zeros vector. Okay, now this is the next step is a very interesting, and this you need to understand. Now I am putting the value. Initially I create a zeros vector. Now inside of a zeros vector I am putting a value. Which value? I am putting a x. X is what? My input sequence. Now how I can put that x? I have to put a x in such a way that I'll define the position. Which position? X0, which I'll just before zeros vector. So I'll choose a position y1. Y1 means it will be start from y1 means length of colon. Colon is the operator. So start from y1 and end at y1 plus x1 minus 1 means at the final length n. This y1 plus x1 plus 1 minus 1, that is my n. So this will be understood. This will be start from the length of y1 and end at a n. Total length x1 plus y1 minus 1. And that position is filled with a value of x. X is, suppose right now you can take that x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that I'll fill them. Okay. So I'll just take one of a sequence, my input sequence x. Okay. Same way, I'll take a second sequence y. So again, first I create one zeros vector y0 as we are doing with the x1 zeros of 1 comma n plus y1. At the time I'll take it that n plus x1. Here I'll take it that n plus y1. I'll create a one blank vector zeros. Again, then the next steps in the line number 14, I'm filling the value. Which value? Previously, I fill that value of x. Right now, I fill that value with y. So, the position of y0 from where? 1 to y1. And which value I have to fill? The y vector. But this time, you have to fill with a reverse order. Time reversal problem. Reverse order means start from the y1 minus 1 is एक एक कम करते जाना है y1 y minus 1 y minus 2 this way up till 1. So this is the colon operator by default right now. Up till we use a by default 1 step size is that, but here the step size is minus 1. So by default, if your step size is 1, you do not need to define. But if any other step size, you need to define here. So if your step size is minus 1, you need to define here. So simple meaning is that अभी तक मैंने क्या किया? एक zeros vector create किया. Zeros vector का size मैंने n plus x1 रखा और दूसरे का n plus y1 रखा. उसमें एक में मैंने x की वैल्यू फिल करा दी, दूसरे में मैंने y की वैल्यू फिल कराई. बट y की वैल्यू जो मैंने फिल कराई है वो रिवर्स ऑर्डर में फिल कराई है. So you must be understood that in your mind create a image. Which image? I'll take it the x sequence. I'll put it as it is. I'll take it a y sequence, second sequence. I reverse it. Reverse it means minus 1. So you can understood that one sequence as it is, second sequence that will be a reverse. Now what I have to do? Now I need to do a two operation. I need to shift it, multiply that and addition. So this thing we have to do in a loop. ये मुझे continuously करना है, shift करना है, multiply करना है और add करना है. अभी तक मैंने सिर्फ क्या किया है? सिर्फ टाइम रिवर्सल किया है. Okay. So for the next operation, I'll choose a for loop. I need to define a different for loop for different operations. So first for loop, I use a for loop I for 1 to n. Okay. So you can see here this for loop, that is I is variable. In that I variable, initially I take it that the hi is 0. Okay. And your I is vary from 1 to n, where n is the total length of my output sequence. So this is my final output length, because that length, this for loop is that for your summation operation, summation of n is equals minus infinite to infinite. So that is the for loop, this for loop, the first for loop 1 to n. Here we are not going to a negative sides. We are starting from 1 to n. For loop कभी negative sides या zero से start नहीं होगी. So that's why we need to define it to be from 1 to n. And initially we assume that initially your output is 0. Okay. Now let me take a second loop, second for loop. The second for loop we need to take for k variable, because in your formula summation of n is equals minus infinite to infinite x of k h of n minus k. So the second for loop that is for your k variable. Okay, so the k variable that will be for y1 colon y1 plus x1 minus 1. So this for, you can see here, that will be for our y sequence y1 colon y1 plus x1 minus 1. So each time we vary the k and we modified my h of I. Initially my h of I is 0, and each time I'll do that hi plus, initially it will be 0 and I plus what I plus x of 0 x0 k and y0 k. Means this, in this for loop I'll perform a multiplication operation, multiplication of a two signals. Which two signals? X and Y. ये मल्टीप्लीकेशन आपको कहां से कहां तक करना है? y1 से y1n तक. Okay, so this is for your multiplication second loop. समझ में आ रहा है? Yes. Is it understood or not? Or if you have any doubt, you can ask. I'm not getting any reply from your side. Number 33.
Yes, sir.
रिप्लाई क्यों नहीं देते आप लोग? I am asking, is it understood this algorithm?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. So the first for loop, that is for outer summation operation, second for loop for a multiplication, and the third for loop for a shifting. You need to shifting n minus k. So here we are shifting a y sequence. So the third for loop for a shifting operation. So this way we can implement the formula, convolution formula, summation of n is equals minus infinite to infinite x of k h of n minus k. And finally I'll stem h is my output. Okay, so I'm going to run this program. Now you can see here on a command prompt, it asks enter the first sequence. So I'm entering my first sequence. This is a user defined program. You can enter any sequence. Okay, I can enter this 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is my first sequence. Now after entering first sequence, it asks enter the second sequence. So you can enter second sequence. Okay, I'll choose the size is for first sequence 5, for second sequence 3. So ultimately we all know what is the size of my output.
7.
Okay, but here with the size, you can also see the figure. The figure is that is this, yeah. The figure are also visible that in the figure. Otherwise, if you know, if you need to, you can enter h. So this is the h is that, and this is the figure for h. You can see that this will be a 2, 5, 11, 17, 23, 17, and 15. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any query or anything from your side? Is it understood this algorithm? Main thing is that this algorithm. Okay, so I hope that you understood all this thing. Let me summarize that. I think what we do first, we perform the experiment on a VLab. So same experiment we perform on a VLab. Theory is that, procedure is that, but the VLab, that is a simulation. You can see the simulation, that is a block kind of a simulations. Means here you do not develop any programming skill. Okay, but here main thing is that we can perform this experiment in a three different. Okay, first is a simple convolution, second will be a series operation, third will be a parallel operation, and then we perform on again in the MATLAB. First I'll use a inbuilt command convolution, and then I'll develop a convolution algorithm for that. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any query, any doubt, you may ask. Okay, so if you have any query, no doubt. Uh, Same thing you can, this thing you can do your end. VLab, you have, even you find this program, I'll put that in a MS Team, or you can also find, if you have not MATLAB, you can also use a Scilab. In the Scilab also you can perform the same experiment also. Okay. Okay, I'll stop the sharing my screen here. Okay, please give your attendance. 33.
Present, sir.
34.
Present, sir.
35.
Present, sir.
6.
Present, sir.
40. Number 40. Number 43.
Present, sir.
46.
Present, sir.
Sir,
Okay.
42 present, sir.
Okay. Okay, so that's it from my side. You can leave one by one.
Sir, 42 present, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, 46.
A minute.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.